traveled to space in 1984. I grew up reading about him in textbooks and listening to his stories from space. I was deeply, deeply impressed by him. This journey that I'm on, it has been a long one for me. And it started out somewhere. I didn't know that this is the path it is going to finally take. I would say that I have been extremely fortunate and extremely lucky to have gotten the opportunities to first fly all my life, which was a dream job for me, and then have the opportunity to apply to Astronaut Corps, and now consequently be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom was the time I came to know that I will be going. I was extremely excited to be here. I was very, very happy because this was a possibility for me to actually fly to space. You don't know how to respond to such things.
Shuk's wisdom, the knowledge that he possesses.
Summer is here. Is your home ready for the heat? Keep your roof cool and your home comfortable all summer with Roof Cool and Seal. पसीना मत बहाओ, बर्जर रूफ कूल एंड सील लगाओ.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the Monday edition of This Is Exclusive with me, Rs.10. He said he wanted to serve his state, and that is the reason why he had appeared for the civil services. And now it turns out that he has been caught red-handed. An IAS officer caught red-handed taking bribe. Tonight, that's the big focus on This Is Exclusive. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we are tracking at this hour. IAS officer Dhiman Chakma arrested in Bhubaneswar for accepting bribery. Raids lead to stunning recovery of 47 lakh rupees. Major breakthrough in Meghalaya honeymoon murder case. Wife Sonam arrested after reportedly missing for 17 days, named as the prime accused. Sensational new twist comes to the fore. Police states that Sonam Raghuvanshi claims to have been kidnapped and been the real victim of torture. Countdown begins. The Indian astronaut Shukla set for Axiom 4 mission liftoff tomorrow. In what has become a troubling refrain in India's governance, and this is with regards to what has essentially happened with the bureaucracy itself. Now, this refrain, the troubling refrain in India's governance narrative, yet another IAS officer, a figure once revered as the embodiment of integrity and public service, has been caught in the net of corruption. This time, the scene unfolds in Orissa, where a bureaucrat was apprehended for allegedly accepting a 20 lakh rupees bribe, further eroding public trust in one of the nation's most powerful institutions. The arrest, which comes hot on the heels of similar scandals across multiple states, paints a stark picture of a system under siege, not from foreign threats or political turmoil, but from within its own corridors of power. I'm talking about Dhiman Chakma, IAS officer who has been caught red-handed while accepting Also demanding bribe of 10 lakh rupees from a local businessman as an installment of the overall demand of 20 lakh rupees. Further this, there was about 47 lakh rupees cash that has been recovered during searches at his official residence. Now what you see on your screen is the amount that has been recovered by the Vigilance Department of Orissa. This after a complaint was actually filed by a local businessman, following which the arrest was made. Who exactly is Diman Chakma? An IAS officer who, after clearing the UPSC, actually made a statement. He said that he's appeared for the civil services only because he wants to serve his state. And this is how he was caught. This report that you see, that we're going to play out in a short while from now, is a report from the very place where the recovery was actually made. And in a short while from now, the Superintendent of Police Vigilance Cell would be also joining us.
देखिए, ये कल जो रेड हुआ था उड़ीसा के कलाहंडी जिले के जो धर्मगढ़ सब कलेक्टर धीमान चकमा आईएएस की जो सरकारी आवास है, यहाँ पर मैं कैमरा पर्सन को बोलूँगा कि वो दिखाएं उनका घर, जहाँ पर कल उड़ीसा विजिलेंस की 13 जन की एक टीम, जहाँ पर 2 एसपी, 2 डीएसपी और बाकी वरिष्ठ अधिकारी शामिल थे। और यहाँ पर लगभग 10 लाख रुपया जो ले रहे थे, विजिलेंस तुरंत उनको पकड़ा। और उसके बाद जब उनके घर की ये है उनके रेस्ट ऑफिस और ये है घर, तो यहाँ पर जब विजिलेंस यहाँ अंदर गए और खान तलाशी की, यहाँ से घर से और 47 लाख यानी कि टोटल 57 लाख रुपया विजिलेंस ने बरामद की। अभी उनके ऊपर केस चालू हो गया है और उनको विजिलेंस की तरफ से जेल भिजवा दिया गया है।
Well, in fact, the result of this entire inquiry that has been carried out, what you see right now is the amount that was recovered, the cash that was found from inside the IAS officer's residence. In fact, he has also been taken into custody. I'm given to understand that M. Radhakrishnan, the Superintendent Police Vigilance Cell, joining us from Orissa. Mr. Radhakrishnan, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast.
Good evening. Good evening.
Mr. Radhakrishnan, first tell us, what is this case all about? Given the fact that a local businessman did actually approach you, the Vigilance Department, what is the investigation that has been carried out so far that has been revealed?
No, we had received a complaint from a particular businessman regarding demand of rupees 20 lakhs from him to give a favorable report on the allegation of illegal activities of the complainant relating to his crosser business. So basing on that, we have registered a case against the IAS officer, and his first demand was, out of the total sum of 20 lakhs, he asked to pay 10 lakhs as first installment. So basing on that, we have registered a case, and we officers from Cuttack cell, we came down to Dharamgarh, and yesterday night around 9 p.m. we have caught him red-handed while demanding and accepting illegal gratification of 10 lakhs. Thereafter, we searched, the same was recovered, and the process was started. Then during the course of recovery of the trap amount, we searched the residence of the sub-collector, Mr. Dhiman Chakma, and found that he has stashed cash of rupees 47 lakhs 47,600 in his residential house.
Mr. Radhakrishnan, what was the first response that came in from the IAS officer? If I'm given to understand, as per the protocol, his statement would have been recorded. Is there any version coming out from the IAS officer?
No, his face became pale, and he could not give any satisfactory reply to our questions.
Mr. Radhakrishnan, with regards to the recovery that has been made, was this actually hidden, or the moment searches were basically carried out, what is it that you saw the moment you entered and thereafter the searches that were carried out? Can you help us understand? The reason why I'm also asking this, just for the benefit of all our viewers, we are talking about an IAS officer who went on record to say that he will do everything to basically serve his own state. His home state happens to be that of Tripura. But what we are essentially witnessing is completely different. Hence, I'm asking you this
search and we found cash of rupees 47 lakhs in different bundles, 500 rupees notes and 200 rupees notes and 100 rupee bundles. And that we have recovered and seized.
Mr. Radhakrishnan, one final question before I let you go. In terms of the investigation that has been carried out so far, was the IAS officer operating all by himself, or you believe, or prima facie, do you all believe that there are more number of people who are involved? And also, is there any indication that perhaps this is not the first time, because the kind of money that you have recovered indicates that it could be many more?
Focusing on the trap case.
But is there any indication that he may have
him and forwarded him to the court?
But is there any indication that he may have taken bribes in the past too? Because the recovery that you are basically showing is much more than what he had essentially demanded from the local businessman.
No, that may come out during the course of investigation.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Radhakrishnan, for joining us on this broadcast
thank you.
and helping us understand what's really happened. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dhiman Chakma is not the only person. In fact, there are several other IAS officers who have also been caught red-handed, but this is one such example. Shifting focus now to the other big story that we are getting to you from the state of Manipur. Amid escalating tensions and ongoing unrest, Manipur is once again at the forefront of national attention as protests continue to rage across the state, defying strict prohibitory orders imposed by the authorities. Over the past several days, the situation has grown increasingly volatile, with demonstrators taking to the streets in large numbers, demanding the immediate release of Meitei leader Asam Khanan, who was arrested. Now, despite the state's efforts to enforce curfews and place restrictions on movement in a bid to curb the escalating violence, the protests have only intensified as residents from various regions of the state come together to voice their grievances. The roots of this unrest runs deep as it involves long-standing political ethnic conflict, the tensions that have plagued the region for the last few years. In fact, the Meitei community, which has historically dominated the state's political landscape, is now at odds with other groups, further complicating the delicate balance of power. In fact, in a short while from now, I'm going to explain why the arrest of this leader has resulted in massive protests taking place in Manipur.
Violence once again grips Manipur. The arrest of a leader from the Meitei group, Arambai Tengol, has sparked a fresh wave of protests. The protests have turned the Imphal Valley into a cauldron of unrest. With internet services suspended and prohibitory orders in place, the state is staring at another security crisis. Flames lit up the streets of Imphal, east and west, as protesters defied curfews, torching tires and confronting security forces. Tempers reached a boiling point when some demonstrators reportedly poured petrol over themselves, forcing security officers to initiate lathi charge.
After fresh violence erupts from the past couple of days in Manipur, normal life has been affected seriously, mainly in the 5 valley districts of Manipur. On 7th of this month, one Arambai Tengol, a Meitei organization leader, was arrested by the security forces in case relating with the CBI. From that day, government of Manipur has imposed prohibitory orders, mainly in 5 valley district of the state. The Meitei organization has also called a 10 days Manipur ban, started from the 8th of this month and is still continuing. As a result of this ban and curfews, you can see many places in Imphal look deserted here, and heavy deployment of security forces has been briefed up here.
Several MLAs from the ruling BJP have called for the unconditional release of the arrested leaders, deepening the divide within the state's political machinery. The fresh unrest has revived fears of last year's ethnic violence between the Meitei and Kuki communities. Violence that left over 200 dead and thousands displaced. Many now worry that this could reopen old wounds. Meanwhile, women's groups have joined the current wave of protests, holding torch rallies through the night. Particularly in Khurai and Singjameng. Their demands: the immediate formation of a new government and the release of political prisoners. In the face of mounting protests, the state government has imposed a curfew in 5 districts: Imphal East and West, Bishnupur, Thobal and Kakching. The security situation in Manipur remains volatile. Despite government-imposed restrictions and deployment of central forces, this region shows little sign of calming down. The people of Manipur now face an uncertain future. With a 10-day shutdown in effect and no end in sight to protests, the state's political and social fabric is under immense pressure.
Putting out some details of the arrest that has been made by the Central Bureau of Investigation, leading to the current situation on the ground. Asham Kanan Singh is 46 years old. He was the head constable in Manipur Police till he was terminated from service on 3rd of March. In fact, we are given to understand he was involved in various criminal activities, including cross-border smuggling of arms. In fact, this is what I'm picking up. He was directly involved in the protest that broke out on 7th of June in the valley area of Manipur. And there was, the NIA thereafter had arrested 3 of them in this case that was related to a attack on the security forces that had killed 2 police commandos and injured several others in More, in a few other places on 17th of January. Following this arrest of the Meitei leader, you have another 2 members of a Kuki group who have also been taken into custody, and they were arrested on the 19th itself. 2 other accused, they were also part of the team who had executed the deadly attack on Gangte. He is a member of the Kuki National Army, and we are given to understand that this was because of the direct links that had basically emerged. The Meitei leader was also suspended for arms smuggling. Well, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to now end this show with another big news that we've been tracking through the day, but more leads now coming in. This afternoon, a major fire broke out on board the Singapore-flagged container vessel following a container explosion. The incident occurred this morning around 9:20, around 44 nautical miles of Bepur. It's in Kerala, around 130 nautical miles northwest of Kochi. Now, the vessel was en route from Colombo Sri Lanka to Nhava Sheva in Mumbai with an expected time of arrival was on the 10th of June. What I'm picking up is this, that the fire rapidly engulfed the midsection of this entire vessel that you see right now on your screens. These are the latest images that we have got. In fact, as we speak right now, the operation still continues, but the preliminary report that has now come in from the Indian Coast Guard here in the national capital is this, that 50 of the containers have fallen off board. The vessel was basically carrying about 22 crew members, which includes 8 Chinese, 6 Taiwanese, 5 Myanmaris and 3 Indonesian nationals. Now, following the explosion and the escalation of the fire, the crew abandoned the ship. 18 crew members have been rescued so far. 4 are still missing is what I'm being told. A search and rescue operation is underway as we speak. The Coast Guard has already initiated their response by deploying at least 2 Dornier aircraft equipped with life rafts for aerial surveillance and situational assessment. INS Surat has now been mobilized at the Kerala coast for the operations. Now that's the big breaking news coming in. We had first broken this information earlier today of an explosion at the underdeck area of this particular container. Container left from Colombo and caught fire offshore Baypore is what we are being told. Right now, INS Surat, a frigate, has also been mobilized. The latest visuals that we are going to also now put out on your screens right now. This is the latest visual that has been accessed of the life rafts that have been deployed by the Indian Coast Guard. In fact, the Indian Coast Guard has deployed these life rafts to continue with the rescue operation. Let me also take you through some more details that we have just accessed from the Indian Coast Guard headquarters, where we are given to understand that they're also looking at mobilizing of a few other vessels. So far, at least 4 of the vessels have already been deployed. We are given to understand that they are looking at the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center that has activated the International Safety Net, and they have also ensured that the nearby merchant vessels have been diverted to assist in the rescue effort. On your screens, the first images now coming in of the rescue operation that is still underway as we speak. Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Rakshit.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Mahi sir, how much do you love your fans?
Honestly, I love my new fans. पुराने वाले बेकार में शोर करते।
सर फैंस हैं, शोर तो करेंगे ही ना।
नए वाले नहीं करते। And they listen to what I say.
The new generation Orient BLDC fans, super silent performance with voice control.
सिली में आए तो और
Cricket fans.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
आपकी फेवरेट हुंडई कार्स पर मिल रही है अमेजिंग डील्स। वैसे लोगे तो आप हुंडई ही, चाहे दिल की सुनो या डील्स की, तो जल्दी चले आओ हुंडई शोरूम।
स्क्वाड्रन लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है।
भारत के नागरिक होने के नाते आपको धन्यवाद देता हूं और मेरे क्रू मेंबर्स भी मेरे साथ आपको धन्यवाद देते हैं।
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX-4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla.
A fighter pilot for 15 years, he was selected as one of 4 Indian astronauts in 2020.
Captain Shukla, are you ready for the ride? Will you do some yoga in space like your idol Rakesh Sharma did in 1984?
The first Indian astronaut, Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, traveled to space in 1984. I grew up reading about him in textbooks and listening to his stories from space. I was deeply, deeply impressed by him. This journey that I'm on, it has been a long one for me. And it started out somewhere. I didn't know that this is the path it is going to finally take. I would say that I've been extremely fortunate and extremely lucky to have gotten the opportunities to first fly all my life, which was a dream job for me, and then have the opportunity to apply to Astronaut Corps, and now consequently be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom was the time I came to know that I will be going. I was extremely excited to be here. I was very, very happy because this was a possibility for me to actually fly to space. You don't know how to respond to such things.
Shuk's wisdom, the knowledge that he possesses, he could be 130 years old.
For me, having him as my pilot in the Dragon capsule is great. He already has that operational savvy. You know, he's just wicked smart when it comes to spacecraft technologies.
He is very focused and he will basically go 1, 2, 3, 4 in a record time. I don't even know how he gets there so fast.
The team that I'm flying with on this mission, it is fantastic. I do feel that, I have exceptional crewmates. I will have these crew members for this one flight, but post this mission, these are going to be my friends for life.
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX-4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, Astronaut Corps, and now consequently be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom,
This is the first day of emergency training as a crew for us. We've been learning about all the systems and putting all the pieces together. Depressurizations in the modules or fire or the worst case ammonia in the cabin.
We learned so much in the past 2 weeks basically. Every time when we started any scenarios, we kind of knew what to do.
what I learned the most, how to keep your senses when things are going wrong and not to let it over.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
मेरी नई हुंडई एक्स्टर, तुमने भी तो कल नई कार ली है ना? उसमें भी तो होगा ना ये वॉइस इनेबल सनरूफ?
है ना अंकल, सिंगर इनेबल सनरूफ।
और बेनिफिट्स ये तो मिले होंगे ना?
ये मिला।
हाँ? हुंडई कार्स पर मिल रही है अमेजिंग डील्स। वैसे लोगे तो आप हुंडई ही, चाहे दिल की सुनो या डील्स की।
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX-4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, Astronaut Corps, and now consequently be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom,
this is the first day of emergency training as a crew for us. We've been learning about all the systems and putting all the pieces together. Depressurizations in the modules, or fire, or the worst case, ammonia in the cabin.
We learned so much in the past 2 weeks, basically. Every time when we started any scenarios, we kind of knew what to do.
What I learned the most, how to keep your senses when things are going wrong, and not.
From the heartland of India to the vast expanse of space, we bring you a story that will leave you inspired and awestruck. Tonight on Trending, we take you on a journey of the lifetime. The journey of Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, a son of Lucknow who is all set to make history with Axiom 4 mission. Get ready to witness the countdown to the liftoff and discover the making of a hero who embodies the spirit of India. I am Rakta Mishra and this is Trending Tonight. So in a moment that will be etched in the annals of Indian space exploration forever, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla is all poised to make history as he prepares to embark on the Axiom Mission 4 to the International Space Station. This extraordinary journey is not just a testament to Shukla's unwavering dedication and unrelenting passion, but also a shining example of India's growing prowess in space. From the quiet streets of Lucknow to the vast expanse of space, Shukla's story is one of dreams, perseverance, and the unbridled potential of the Indian spirit. In a quiet corner of Lucknow, a reserved introvert boy once looked up at the sky, not knowing it would one day become his home, for some time at least. Born in October 1985, Shubhanshu Shukla's journey from the bylanes of Uttar Pradesh to the vast expanse of space is nothing short of extraordinary. And viewers, Shubhanshu Shukla's parents are one proud parents, of course. They're beaming with pride, happiness, and they spoke to Republic TV. Let's listen.
गर्व तो महसूस होता है, जिसका बेटा इतनी ऊंचाइयों पर जाएगा उसको गर्व महसूस होगा। गर्व में तो कोई कमी नहीं है। हमारा बेटा ऊंचाइयों पर जा रहा है, इसलिए हम लोगों को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत ज़्यादा प्राउड फील हो रहा है।
माता जी, एक चूँकि आप माँ हैं, ये थोड़ा सा डर भी रहता है कि बेटा अंतरिक्ष में जा रहा है, कितने दिन रहेगा और सुरक्षित लौट कर आए, इस तरह की कुछ मन में कुछ शंका रहता है, कुछ सवाल रहता है?
नहीं, डर कुछ नहीं लग रहा। बेटे से बात इतनी अच्छे से हो जाती है, बेटा हम लोगों को इतना बढ़िया अच्छे से समझा देता है कि सारा डर अपने आप काफूर हो जाता है, सब भाग जाता है डर, और हम लोगों को कुछ नहीं लगता। वो कहावत मन में बैठी हुई है, जो भगवान ने रचना रच रखी है उसको कोई नहीं मिट सकता है, इसलिए डर वाली कोई बात नहीं है।
बड़ी बात आप कह रहे हैं कि कितने दिन पहले शुभांशु अभी यहाँ पर आए थे लखनऊ परिवार के साथ?
पिछले मार्च में आए थे, मार्च में मुलाकात हुई थी, अप्रैल में आए थे, अप्रैल में मुलाकात हुई थी, तब से मुलाकात नहीं हुई।
देखा जाए तो काफ़ी महीने हो गए, वो हाँ जी,
1 साल से ऊपर हो गया, तब से
लगातार वो अपने मिशन पे लगे
हुए हैं। वहीं हैं, अमेरिका में ही है, वहीं ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं, वहीं से ये लॉन्च हो, कल लॉन्चिंग है, कल लॉन्च होगा। फिर
बड़ा दिन है और देश के लिए बड़ा दिन है, पूरे दुनिया के लिए बड़ा दिन है। सर, चूँकि शुभांशु के पिताजी हैं, आपने तो अंगुली पकड़ के उनको स्कूल ले जाने से लेकर युवा होने तक पूरी यात्रा आपने पूरी की है, क्या कहेंगे बेटे के बारे में?
अब बेटे के बारे में एक तो पहली बात ये है कि हम लोगों को बड़ी खुशी है कि उसका मिशन पूरा हो रहा है और अपने को गौरवान्वित महसूस करते हैं कि मतलब जो है, और बच्चे को अभी मतलब जो है उसकी इच्छा पूरी हो रही, उसका मन था उसमें मिशन में जाने के लिए, तो उसकी भी इच्छा पूरी हो रही, तो ये भी बड़ी खुशी की बात है और हमारे परिवार के लिए, हमारे लिए, सबके लिए बड़ी खुशी की बात है।
सर, आज मैं शुभांशु के स्कूल भी गया था जहाँ पर वो बचपन से 12th तक पढ़ाई किए थे। वहाँ के टीचर या उनके जो सहपाठी थे वो भी बता रहे थे कि शुभांशु शुरू से ही बहुत अपने लक्ष्य के प्रति काफ़ी सजग रहते थे, बहुत ज़्यादा शरारत नहीं करते थे, लेकिन स्पोर्ट्स अदर एक्टिविटीज़ में भाग भी लेते थे, मतलब बहुत गुमसुम में रहते थे। तो उन्होंने काफ़ी कुछ बताया। आप क्या कहेंगे, आपकी नज़र में शुभांशु का बचपन कैसा था?
बचपन तो बचपना था, वो बात अलग थी, मगर ये एक चीज़, सबसे बड़ी चीज़ उसमें धीरे धीरे डेवलप जो कर गई थी, वो ये चीज़ थी अपने वर्क के प्रति कोई लापरवाही नहीं। ऑल मैटर मतलब वो माने नहीं रखते थे। जब उसका वर्क जो भी होता था उसमें कहीं पर भी उसकी जो है किसी प्रकार की कोई ढिलाई नहीं, किसी प्रकार की कोई दिक्कत नहीं, मतलब सबसे प्रायोरिटी उसी की रहती थी। नंबर 1, कुछ भी हो, परिवार का कोई सदस्य हो, वर्क के प्रति उसकी प्रायोरिटी नंबर 1 पर रहती थी।
So, talking about this spark ignited in 1999 during the Kargil War. Like many of his generation, the nation's call stirred something deep within. But for Shukla, also known as Shuks among his friends, it wasn't just inspiration, it was a decision. A decision that took shape when he independently cleared the UPSC NDA exam. And by 2005, he had earned a bachelor's degree in computer science from the National Defense Academy. Commissioned into the Indian Air Force in 2006, Shukla's passion for aviation took flight. He became a fighter pilot, clocking over 2,000 hours on aircraft like the Su-30 MKI and the MiG-29, earning a reputation for sharp precision and calm command. In 2019, his destiny took a sharp turn upward, quite literally, when he was selected by the Institute of Aerospace Medicine for India's human spaceflight program. Shukla completed his initial training at Russia's Yuri Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center in 2021, laying the foundation for something greater than the cockpit. What began as a whisper of dream in early 2020 had become a national mission. In February 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi named him among the 4 astronaut designates for the Gaganyaan mission, India's most ambitious human space flight effort yet. But before India's tryst with Gaganyaan came another leap, this time to the International Space Station. And we were just a while back, I spoke to Group Captain Shukla's childhood friend as he recounts his memories of Group Captain Shukla and his latest interaction with him. We'll get you all the insights. Listen in. Mr. Srivastava for joining us on Republic TV, sir. You know, Shubhanshu is going to space, first Indian after Rakesh Sharma. It's a long time, it's a long wait that's going to end. We're going to see the tricolor finally at the ISS, sir. What's going through your mind? Because you've known him since, I think, nursery, since childhood, and, till, adulthood, you're still friends. What's going through your mind right now?
No, Rakshita, thank you for having me, and it's an absolute proud moment for me. I think, like every Indian, I think I can feel the pride, and my pride actually is multiplied by a billion times because I've been so close to him, and I think everyone's prayer, I think I would multiply and expand and give it to him. So that's absolutely a proud moment. And right now, there is a little bit of anxiety, a lot of happiness and pride. So that's my current state of mind and feeling. And I'm just trying to think of, we reaching there in the International Space Station as the first Shubhanshu presenting the first Indian citizenship over there. So waiting for that and looking forward to his proud return after that.
Did you manage to speak to him of late?
Yes, and I think I spoke to him about last week itself, and I don't expect him to speak to me now because it's absolutely, I think, a crucial moment. And yes, I spoke to him. Yes.
So what was he telling? He was excited, and how is he preparing? How is he doing?
So I think one thing he and me have in common is that we try to live in present. So I think the conversation was not about how are you feeling, how it is going to be. It's absolutely, we know it's something very great. I think that day we did have a discussion around, of how, there are people who are trying to understand about some childhood stories of him. And he said, yes, Vishal, this is very important that these things should come out because people, the kids especially of the next generation should know that, for having an extraordinary dream, you cannot leave your ordinary childhood. So I think this should come out in public and people should know. So I think, yeah, that was a kind of discussion that we were having.
We spoke to his parents also a few days ago, and they were also crediting Kamna also about the support she has lent to him. You also are very close to her. She's like your sister, you said. What's her role? I think she's in US, and did you speak to her? What's going through her mind, and what's been her role, in this journey of Shubhangshu's?
So I think I'll say that, I'll brag a little about myself, that I know Shubhangshu even before Kamna. Although Kamna, happens to be my Rakhi sister, she has been tying Rakhi to me for the last 32 years. And I have known Shubhangshu for 36 years. So I think as far as Kamna is concerned, I think, when she talks him about a professional, she's very appreciative. The moment she becomes a wife and talks about her husband, of course, the regular complaints are there. So that's how I will put it. But yes, of course, she's very proud.
Absolutely. Spoke like a true friend. Thank you so much, Vishal, for joining us on Republic TV. Now, Gaganyaan, viewers, is one of India's most ambitious space programs aimed at sending 3-member crew to a low Earth orbit at 400 kilometers for 3 days and safely returning them to the Earth. Now, this is a crucial step in demonstrating India's human spaceflight capability, which will make India the 4th nation to achieve this. Axiom 4 is India's effort to put itself in the company of the United States, Russia and China. In 2019, Captain Shukla was shortlisted by the Institute of Aerospace Medicine for ISRO's Astronaut Training Group. In 2024, Prime Minister Modi officially announced his name as one of the 4 astronauts for the Gaganyaan mission, which is scheduled to lift off in 2026. And in less than 24 hours, Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla will make history by becoming the 2nd Indian to fly to space since 1984. He will be leading the Gaganyaan with an enhanced vision from his experience at Axiom 4, something every Indian is mighty proud of. Shukla is now set to conduct a series of pioneering experiments to look into any signs of life in space. He will grow crop seeds in microgravity to study sprout development and investigate muscle loss through myogenesis research. Group Captain Shukla will also cultivate 3 strains of microalgae, examine the effects of computer use in space, and lead an ISRO project testing the survival and reproduction of tardigrades. The Indian astronaut has also planned to record the whole journey to bring it back to others aspiring the same. So let's go back to that glorious time when Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, the first Indian to travel to space, had an unforgettable conversation with the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi in 1984. Nose-diving into the past on the 3rd of April 1984, Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma embarked on a historic journey aboard the Soviet spacecraft Soyuz T-11, launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. In space, the veteran astronaut had a historic call with Mrs. Indira Gandhi. The memorable conversation was made broadcast, capturing the imagination of millions back home.
लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है और हम सब आपको बधाई देते हैं। यह एक ऐतिहासिक कदम है। मेरी आशा है कि इससे हमारा देश अंतरिक्ष के प्रति जागरूक होगा और साथ ही हमारे युवकों को साहसिक कार्य करने की प्रेरणा मिलेगी। प्रश्न तो आपसे बहुत से पूछने हैं, लेकिन थोड़े से पूछती हूँ। ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी, मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है।
Now, along the same lines, Sunita Williams, another Indian-origin American astronaut, returned to Earth after being in space for 9 months. Residents of Williams' ancestral village in Gujarat celebrated her safe arrival. Sunita in space participated in various science experiments as she busied herself helping out the space station. However, she described how she had to pivot from the thought of being away from home and making International Space Station a home away from home. Now Now, with 41 years after Rakesh Sharma's journey to space, the space unit will be all set for the launch. So on the 10th of June, viewers, at 5:07 p.m. Indian Standard Time, the action will begin as the Falcon 9 will start fueling up with rocket fuel and liquid oxygen. That will be the first domino as the team will head towards what looks like a smooth launch. By 5:17 p.m., both the rocket stages will be pressurized, building the power needed for the liftoff. Now, weather checks will be completed and the launch director will pull the team. Everyone will be go for the launch. It will be the go ahead. And Falcon 9 will then enter the startup mode. The rocket's computers will take over, linking every system for a flawless launch. At 3 minutes to launch, the final checks will be completed. The rocket and the Dragon capsule should be synced and set just minutes away from the launch. At the tick, it will all come together and the liftoff will be initiated as Falcon 9 and Dragon soar skyward. 2.5 minutes later, the first stage will separate and the second stage engine will ignite, keeping this mission on track. The first stage will then flip, fire its engines and will land itself back on Earth. Dragon will then reach the orbit and at 6:04 p.m. its nose cone will open, revealing the docking systems and getting ready to meet the International Space Station. 12 hours into the launch, Dragon will fire its thrusters to align with the ISS. And by the 11th of June, 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time, it will automatically dock at the Harmony module, completing a journey where every step will be connected. And we have now Srijan Palsing, senior scientist and founder of Kalam Center, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much, Srijan, once again joining us on Republic TV. Last time we spoke, it was when Sunita Williams was returning back here. This is India's moment, like true blue moment, because after 41 years, we have an Indian going to space, and it's Group Captain Shukla, and he's the same person who will also be taking the flight on the Gaganyaan. So how important his experience on the Axiom 4 will be? How is it going to help ISRO's Gaganyaan mission, Srijan?
Thank you for having me, and this is indeed a very, very historic moment where a tricolor and a person with an Indian passport for the first time is going to the International Space Station. And of course, as you have rightly pointed out, this is just the beginning of a truly grand mission of India in space for the next generation. It's not just the Gaganyaan, actually. We have the Bharat Antariksh Station also. So all of this links up to that. And I think this is the first stage of training our wing commander, or rather group captain, Subhanshu, I'm also from Lucknow, so we have a Lucknow connection there. And the critical elements which I think are important for this mission would be the fact that we will have the leader of our Gaganyaan mission is now already going to be experienced in space. He will know the perils of being in space. He will know how to handle microgravity well. He will understand the nuances, things which can go wrong and how to counter them in space. See, while he is riding a different rocket system, the Falcon 9 and the Dragon rocket system, but the controls more or less remain the same. So when he's controlling the Gaganyaan, remember he's the mission pilot for this mission. So he will be very accustomed and acclimatized to the equipments which are to be used and when to be used when you are going into space. So that telemetry is very important. The other thing would be when he's returning back, which is the most crucial phase, he would have experienced that when he goes into the Gaganyaan. So he's going to be like the senior and the experienced person in the Gaganyaan mission, both physically trained, mentally trained, emotionally stabilized to handle space, and not just do it for himself, but also the Gaganyaan missions and many missions to follow.
Hold you down.
So I think that's a great lesson.
So because we are just getting some breaking inputs. We have the preparation visuals courtesy Axiom right now that we are going to run on our screens right now, viewers. This is exclusive. And these are visuals coming in from Axiom itself. They have released these pictures and you can see how Subhanshu Shukla there with a gleaming smile, and he's all set to take that flight. That's his photograph. He's there with those goggles and he's all in his formals and all set, I think, for he looks very excited, he looks very happy, and this is the visual, very latest visual, viewers, that is right now on your screens of Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, the pride of India, who's going to take this space flight, who's going to unfurl the Tiranga on the International Space Station after 41 years. That is Group Captain Shukla. We are playing more visuals. These are the latest visuals that are coming in, viewers. Preparations are in full swing, and in fact what I got to know is that he was going to meet his wife. I think that meeting would have just happened a while back while I was speaking to his friend. So yes, talking to the family before he is all set for this this mission, because he's in quarantine. Of course he can't even talk face to face. He will be inside a capsule or somewhere through a glass. He would have had that interaction, what I know in my knowledge. And now these are the visuals from the center. You can see right now, exclusive, first and exclusive on Republic TV, and these are the visuals. You can see the briefing. I think these are the visuals courtesy Axiom. So yes, these are visuals attributable to Axiom, and these are the preparations that have been going on, and with the countdown that has kick-started to the liftoff from the Kennedy Space Center, we see that our proud Lucknow boy is there, and he is all set. He's all prepared. He looks happy. He looks fit and fine, touch wood, and he will be soon in that spacecraft. And of course, everybody has their anxieties, as we were talking to the family members and friends. Their preparations going on in full swing in Lucknow as well. And this is the latest visual we have. This is the prelude to the liftoff that's going to happen tomorrow, on the 10th of June. So India, of course, eyeing space glory. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla's latest visuals coming in. There you had those visuals. We just played them out. And so yes, we will continue to track his journey, viewers. The countdown has begun and mega coverage continues on Republic TV, and we will be showing you more inputs, more inside details of this historic mission. But with that, viewers, we come to the very end of this special edition on India's space mission. This is going to be very, very special, so stay tuned, viewers. We'll be right back with more, but right now it's bye from our side.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAS.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुलें तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबान में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबान कैसी?
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, Astronaut Core, and now, consequently, be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom,
first day of emergency training as a crew for us. We've been learning about all the systems and putting all the pieces together. Depressurizations in the modules, or fire, or the worst case, ammonia in the cabin.
We learned so much in the past 2 weeks, basically. Every time when we started any scenarios, we kind of knew what to do.
What I learned the most, how to keep your senses when things are going wrong, and not to let it overwhelm you. After a few episodes of initial exposure to these situations, I think we got a lot better by the end.
The motto, slow is fast, and I think every single time we calmed down and reconnected and basically discussed how to coordinate the further steps of the instruction, we got better.
I have a huge amount of technical expertise here standing next to me, so I feel really lucky about that. The thing that I feel responsible for is trying to bring this together as a crew and integrating us so that we can react to everything and to perform as a team. We got some wicked smart people.
Today was a food tasting session. So as you see, we have a long list of food items that we had to try and give scores, whether we like it, not like it. And based on the feedback that we give today, the food items would be packed and they will be sent to the station for us to consume during our mission.
Food is really important for us. Astronauts work in quite difficult conditions on the station, in confined space, far from home. Food brings a bit of a comfort.
This was a super great experience. It felt super special when we were all together and Peggy was explaining her tips and tricks, how to consume these stuff and how to open stuff. So this was great.
स्क्वाड्रन लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है।
भारत के नागरिक होने के नाते आपको धन्यवाद देता हूं और मेरे क्रू मेंबर्स भी मेरे साथ आपको धन्यवाद देते हैं।
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी, मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूं कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, Astronaut Corps, and now, consequently, be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom,
This is the first day of emergency training as a crew for us. We've been learning about all the systems and putting all the pieces together. Depressurizations in the modules, or fire, or the worst case, ammonia in the cabin.
We learned so much in the past 2 weeks, basically. Every time when we started any scenarios, we kind of knew what to do.
What I learned the most, how to keep your senses when things are going wrong, and not to let it overwhelm you. After a few episodes of initial exposure to these situations, I think we got a lot better by the end.
The motto, slow is fast, and I think every single time we calmed down and reconnected and basically discussed how to coordinate the further steps of the instruction, we got better.
I have a huge amount of technical expertise here standing next to me, so I feel really lucky about that. The thing that I feel responsible for is trying to bring this together as a crew and integrating us so that we can react to everything and to perform as a team. We got some wicked smart people.
Today was a food tasting session. So as you see, we have a long list of food items that we had to try and give scores, whether we like it, not like it. And based on the feedback that we give today, the food items would be packed and they will be sent to the station for us to consume during our mission.
Food is really important for us. Astronauts work in quite difficult conditions on the station, in confined space, far from home. Food brings a bit of a comfort.
This was a super great experience. It felt super special when we were all together and Peggy was explaining her tips and tricks how to consume these stuff and how to open stuff. So this was great.
स्क्वाड्रन लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है।
भारत के नागरिक होने के नाते आपको धन्यवाद देता हूं और मेरे क्रू मेंबर्स भी मेरे साथ आपको धन्यवाद देते हैं।
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूं कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, Astronaut Corps, and now, consequently, be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom,
This is the first day of emergency training as a crew for us. We've been learning about all the systems and putting all the pieces together. Depressurizations in the modules or fire or the worst case ammonia in the cabin.
We learned so much in the past 2 weeks basically. Every time when we started any scenarios, we kind of knew what to do.
What I learned the most, how to keep your senses when things are going wrong and not to let it overwhelm you. After a few episodes of initial exposure to these situations, I think we got a lot better by the end.
The motto, slow is fast, and I think every single time we calmed down and reconnected and basically discussed how to coordinate the further steps of the instruction, we got better.
I have a huge amount of technical expertise here standing next to me, so I feel really lucky about that. The thing that I feel responsible for is trying to bring this together as a crew and integrating us so that we can react to everything and to perform as a team. We got some wicked smart people.
Today was a food tasting session. So as you see, we have
From Meghalaya to Gazipur, honeymoon murder mystery. Sonam Raghuvanshi arrested for husband's murder. Family says Sonam framed.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, sensational new twists come to the fore in the case of the murder of Raja Raghuvanshi. After going incommunicado for 17 days, the killer wife Sonam Raghuvanshi is now in custody. And at 9 o'clock this evening, the magical countdown as India begins to take a giant cosmic leap with Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla all set to create history as the nation waits with bated breath for the tricolour to fly high at the International Space Station. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin with a comment on the murder of Raja Raghuvanshi, who was killed by his wife, Sonam Raghuvanshi, just 11 days after their wedding. And the first comment I wish to make in this matter is that people should stop referring to it as the Meghalaya murder mystery. That is so wrong. Meghalaya, a beautiful state, a wonderful state with peaceful and kind and generous people. Meghalaya has nothing to do with the quote-unquote murder mystery. This is a murder which could have happened anywhere in Uttar Pradesh or in Delhi. Meghalaya has nothing to do with it. And I want to begin by saying this. And as someone who has spent a lot of time in Meghalaya and has been a student of St. Edmunds, Shillong, I feel so terrible, and as someone from the Northeast myself, at the stereotyping that's been going on over the last few days, linking Meghalaya to the murder mystery. It's so wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We owe an apology to the people of Meghalaya. The fact of the matter is, if there is any one question which emerges as a result of the most tragic and brutal killing of Raja Raghuvanshi by his wife, then we need to be clear about what that question is. That question is about brutalities against men. What is never spoken about, where men are seen to be only the perpetrators of violence in a relationship or in marriage, but can never be seen to be the victims. And if there is anything we need to consider here, it is the fact that this is an arranged marriage, which means that Sonam Raghuvanshi agreed to marry Raja Raghuvanshi. Nobody forced her into it. She was absolutely pretending to be happy on the day of the wedding. She chose to go into an arranged marriage with the intention of killing this man, of killing her husband, which just shows how cold-blooded her thinking has been. She made him wear jewelry, diamonds and gold worth over 10 lakh rupees when they left for their honeymoon. Now, who does that? Which means she intended to kill him and take away everything that he had from his corpse or from him before he died. She wanted to make money by marrying him and then by killing him. The fact that she was clear about wanting to kill the man she married 10 days back is evident from the fact that she never booked return tickets from Meghalaya, which means she knew that for the man she'd married a week earlier, it would be a one-way trip, that she would kill him. Ladies and gentlemen, the trek they planned to go on was planned in advance, and she had told her boyfriend/lover to bring 3 people to help kill Raja Raghuvanshi. She hired contract killers, she brought them over, and she got together with this man and his accomplices to kill her husband. Now, viewers, Republic has always taken the strongest line and always been about crimes against women. But what about crimes against men? Have we become so woke and unrealistic in our approach that we do not see the trend that is emerging of late? Did we not see the trend where a 35-year-old Saurabh Rajput, who had returned from London to simply surprise his wife, who was working hard for his family, was murdered in Meerut by his wife, Muskan Rastogi, and her lover, and then his body was put into a drum? Ladies and gentlemen, did we not see the story in Bihar where a woman in her early 20s hung and killed her 25-year-old husband because he was questioning her fondness for making social media reels? Yet we think that men can never be the victim. We feel that it is all overhype. A 25-year-old man in Uttar Pradesh, Auraiya, was killed by a contract killer recently, hired by his wife and her lover within 15 days of his marriage. A Mathura court sentenced Poonam Kumari to life in prison for murdering her differently abled husband with the help of her 17-year-old lover. There is therefore a larger pattern. We know that violence against men is not the only pertaining issue. We know that Section 498 of the Indian Penal Code, what was IPC in the past, along with 85 and 86 of the BNS is among the most abused laws in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, Section 498A cases have the lowest conviction rate of 12%, which means for 88% of the innocent people, their life just goes past after being treated badly and unfairly by women and their family members. Now, we don't want to talk about it because people think that taking a position for aggrieved men becomes anti-women, and that's the worst way of looking at it. It's a ridiculous and illiterate way of looking at it. We have to be equal. We have to be gender agnostic when it comes to crime and brutalities. But the problem is, in our country, there is one woke section which wants to believe that men are only the perpetrators of crime. There is another argument that these crimes have always happened against men in the past, but they are now being reported. Regardless of that, let us wake up to the reality that Sonam Raghuvanshi, like many other women in recent times, planned to kill her husband well before getting married. He was an innocent man. He did not deserve to die. This marriage was not a sham. This marriage was well planned by the killer wife to create a situation where she could monetize the marriage and walk away from it. We need to think about what's going on in our society. But more than that, we need to think about whether our laws and their application are fair to men. Let's debate.
"29-year-old Raja Raghuvanshi, a businessman from Indore, tied the knot with 27-year-old Sonam Raghuvanshi on May 11th.
मैं हूँ दूल्हे की भाभी, मैं हूँ दूल्हे की मामी, मैं हूँ दूल्हे की मौसी और ये है दूल्हा, मैं हूँ दूल्हा।
The young man, looking excited in every frame, left for a dreamy honeymoon with his bride on 20th of May. Sonam chose the honeymoon destination.
लॉन्ग जाने की प्लानिंग भी सोनम ने ही करी थी।
सोनम ने करी थी, सोनम ने टिकट करवाई थी।
अच्छा, मतलब राजा से लोग नहीं जाना चाहते।
राजा ने यूँ बोला, सोनम ने बोला था कि घूमने चलें, राजा ने बोला अभी नहीं जाएंगे अपन घूमने, बाद में जाएंगे। तो सोनम ने बोला मैंने टिकट करवा ली, अब देखते तुम क्या बोलते हो।
अच्छा।
तो राजा ने बोला मम्मी अब टिकट हो गई, अब मैं क्या करूँ। तो मैंने कहा चले जाओ बेटा, टिकट करवा ली उसने तो चले जाओ।
They remained in touch with their families for the first few days.
ऊपर है? हाँ। मैंने क्या आ गए नीचे? कहाँ पे हो तुम, ऊपर पहाड़ पे कि नीचे?
आप जाके पहुंचा ऊपर में।
रात को नीचे रुके थे?
आओ।
कुछ खाने का मिला कि नहीं मिला?
केले खा लिया मैं।
क्या खा लिए?
अरे अभी केले खा रहा हूँ, अब बिहार पहुंचा हूँ। अब यहाँ से निकलूंगा।
On May 23rd, the couple went missing.
हाथ जोड़ के निवेदन है आपसे कि प्लीज किसी के बेटे और बहू को ढूंढवा दीजिए। हमारा पूरा परिवार सहमा हुआ है, डरा हुआ है। मेरा डॉक्टर मोहन यादव जी से बस एक ही निवेदन है कि मेरे भैया और भाभी को जल्द से जल्द ढूंढ दे।
What followed was a frantic search, leading to police finding Raja's decomposed body on June 2nd. But his new bride still missing.
यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना कि ये डेड बॉडी ढूंढ रहे हैं काफ़ी समय से, जो कि राजा की डेड बॉडी 10 दिन में मिल चुकी है। इनने काफ़ी समय लगाया डेड बॉडी ढूंढने में भी, और अभी मुझे एक रिक्वेस्ट करना है यहाँ की गवर्नमेंट से और कि सीएम साहब से कि यहाँ पर जो ये डेड बॉडी ढूंढ रहे हैं सोनम रघुवंशी की, वो एक्चुअली मुझे ऐसा लगता है क्योंकि मैं सगा भाई हूँ, मुझे अभी भी फीलिंग्स आ रहा है कि वो जिंदा है और उसको जिंदा होने के हिसाब से ढूंढे।
And then a sensational twist. Early Monday morning, Sonam was found from a dhaba in Ghazipur of Uttar Pradesh and arrested for the murder of her husband.
Srimati Sonam Raghuvanshi has voluntarily surrendered at the Nanganj police station in Ghazipur district UP and is currently in the safe custody of the UP police. Necessary legal protocols are being followed for her transit and formal statement.
Motive of the murder is allegedly an extramarital affair.
We connected the dots. Preliminary investigation will indicate that that's how this whole motive and crime was unearthed. Because when we actually had connected the dots, it was actually Raj Kushwaha with Sonam. So when they come here, that will be confirmed. At this juncture, I will not be able to say what exactly is the motive, but it indicates towards that.
A girl who the family had accepted as their daughter is now their son's murder suspect.
टिकट बुक सोनम ने करवाई थी शिलोंग की, और वापसी का टिकट नहीं करवाया।
वापसी का टिकट नहीं करवाया सोनम ने। तो वापसी का क्यों नहीं करवाया? तो मैंने राजा से यही बोला, बेटा वापसी का टिकट क्यों नहीं है? तो बोले मम्मी उधर क्या पता क्यों नहीं है। तो मैंने उनकी मम्मी से बोला, तो उनकी मम्मी ने क्या बोला कि वो इधर से घूमते घूमते आएंगे।
Sonam's family say they had no clue.
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं हुई है, हमें ऐसी कोई बात नहीं, सिर्फ उसका फोन आया, हम भावुक हो गए, हमने पुलिस थाने में कंप्लेन करा और उसको रिसीव करवाने की कोशिश की। नहीं, हमने पूछ ही नहीं पाए हम उनसे।
Her brother admits she called him and that is when he informed the police.
मैंने 2-4 बार इसको देखा है यहाँ पे, सिर्फ नौकर था और जो भी करता था उसके गोडाउन पे काम करता था। दूसरी बात, जिस वक्त डेड बॉडी आई थी राजा की शिलोंग से, उस वक्त 3-4 गाड़ी की व्यवस्था करी थी, तो मैं उसी की गाड़ी में बैठा था जिसको राज चला रहा था। वो लेके यहाँ से गाड़ी वो लेके गया था राजा रघुवंशी के, नहीं रघुवंशी के घर तक। लगा ही नहीं मुझे कुछ कि ये कुछ करके आया है।
Her neighbor shares how the murder accused Sonam's alleged boyfriend had no remorse. He attended the funeral of Raja. The honeymoon to murder story brings back the memory of Meerut murder, when a merchant navy officer Saurav was killed by his wife Muskan and his body disposed of in a cement drum. Men murdered, men forced to take their own lives, and men abused by their wives. Not one isolated incident, but series of incidents raising questions. Is the law inherently against men? What is the law for men's protection from heinous crimes?
I am first joined by Vipin Raghuvanshi, who's Raja Raghuvanshi's elder brother, उनके बड़े भाई। विपिन जी, मैं अर्नब गोस्वामी बोल रहा हूँ, आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है?
हाँ सर, आ रही आवाज़।
विपिन जी, राजा आपके छोटे भाई हैं?
हाँ सर।
तो ये जब शादी हुई थी तो कुछ भी सस्पिशन था आपको, या उसके बाद, या पिछले कई दिनों में जब राजा का शव मिला नहीं था, क्या आपको कभी लगा कि ये मर्डर सोनम ने किया है या कर सकती है?
सर देखिए, जहाँ तक अपने मेरा ध्यान है तो शादी दोनों की मर्जी से हुई थी और दोनों एक दूसरे को पसंद करते उस टाइम पे थे। अब सोनम पसंद कितना करती कितना नहीं करती, सोनम के मन में सोनम को पता था वाली बात। तो बाकी राजा उसको दिल से पसंद करता था और ये चीज़ें इस हिसाब से हम लोगों ने उसकी शादी कराई गई थी और दोनों परिवार इसमें खुश था। बाकी सोनम के हिसाब से जो है, सोनम ने आगे क्या रचना रची थी इस जगह पे आगे मारने के हिसाब से, ये चीज़ हमको नहीं पता थी इस बारे में। बाकी इसमें एक खुलासा और एक ये भी था, तो जो राज है, राज इसका अपने जो इनकी कंपनी का एम्प्लॉय था, जो कि नाम तो सुना था राज का, राज करके राज काम कर रहा है। तो इस हिसाब से जो अभी आज खुलासा हुआ है, इसमें एक कुत्ते से सुलझ के ही है, तो पूरी प्लानिंग जो है सोनम द्वारा ही की गई इसके अंदर।
नहीं, ये जब मैं पूछ रहा था कि कभी आपको कोई शक हुआ सोनम के रोल को लेके?
ये सर मुझे शक पहले नहीं था कभी इसमें।
उनकी फैमिली से बात हुई थी क्या? उनके फैमिली को पता था कि सोनम जिंदा है? सोनम से कुछ बात हुई थी? सोनम जी के फैमिली की कोई बात हुई है सोनम की?
नहीं सर, उनके फैमिली को इस बारे में कहीं पता नहीं था कि पता होता कभी तो गोविंद वहाँ पे इतने दिन रुकता नहीं। पहली चीज़ तो ये थी कि गोविंद मेरे साथ में वहाँ पे इतने दिन रहा था, उनको पता होता कभी तो सोनम वहाँ पे जिंदा है और राजा मर चुका। तो जिस दिन राजा की डेड बॉडी लेके आया था मैं, उसी दिन गोविंद साथ में मेरा आया था।
तो ये सोनम अपने
गोविंद को इस
फैमिली
बारे में कुछ पता नहीं।
अपने फैमिली के साथ में भी टच में नहीं थी सोनम?
हाँ, सोनम उसकी फैमिली की टच में नहीं थी, ना हमारे टच में थी वो। बाकी अभी जो खुलासा हुआ है इसमें सोनम अपने आरोपी बनी हुई है और इसमें मास्टरमाइंड जहाँ तक अपने मेघालय पुलिस कह रही है इसमें मास्टरमाइंड जो है सोनम ही है। तो इसमें कोई संदेह नहीं है, क्योंकि जिस प्रकार से सोनम की हालत दिखी है अभी हाल, उस प्रकार से 17 दिन काटने के बाद भी सोनम के शरीर पे कोई दाग नहीं है, ना कोई चोट के निशान है। मतलब इस प्रकार इसका कहना मतलब एक ही निकलता है तो सोनम जो है, सोनम ने ही सारी चीज़ करवाई गई है।
तो ये शादी के पहले ये अरेंज्ड मैरिज थी? ये अरेंज्ड मैरिज है?
नहीं, ये सर अपने अरेंज मैरिज है और दोनों की पसंद से, दोनों परिवार के मिलने के बाद में अरेंज मैरिज की गई इन लोगों की।
क्या कोई भी ऑपोजिशन था सोनम को इस शादी से? कुछ उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे शादी नहीं करनी, या उन्हें फोर्स करके करवाया गया था? क्योंकि अभी बात निकल रही है कि उनका रिश्ता था ये राज के साथ।
सर ये बातें हमको अभी तक किसी बारे में पता नहीं थी इस बारे में, तो राज और इन दोनों का अफेयर चल रहा है। बाकी दोनों के बीच में ऐसी कभी हम लोगों ने सुनी नहीं थी बातें। तो राज और जो सोनम जो इसमें इन्वॉल्व है। बाकी अभी जैसे कि राज के जो बात आ रही है इसके अंदर, इसमें सोनम का जो था, सोनम राजा का, इस दोनों के रिश्ते में कभी हमको ऐसा लगा नहीं, डाउट नहीं लगा है। तो राजा दुखी था कहीं पे, क्योंकि सोनम ने जिस प्रकार से अभी षड्यंत्र रचा है उस प्रकार से सोनम के हिसाब से हम जो देख रहे हैं अभी हाल है, तो सोनम ने या तो राजा को गुमराह कर रखा पूरा, कि राजा जिस टाइम पे अपने घर के काम करता था, कहीं जाता था ऑफिस के बाहर, तो उस टाइम पे या तो सोनम बात करती हुई रात से होगी और हमको लगता था वो ऑफिस के काम की बात कर रही है। हमें क्या पता चला उस टाइम पे तो सोनम किससे बात कर रही है।
और ये शादी के वीडियोस है जो हम प्ले कर रहे हैं, उसमें तो सब कुछ नॉर्मल लग रहा है। ये शादी के वीडियोस जो हैं,
हाँ
उसमें तो सोनम काफ़ी खुश लग रही है, इन्वॉल्व है, डांस कर रही हैं। क्या व्यवहार में कोई चेंज था उनके शिलोंग जाने से पहले या मेघालय जाने से पहले? कोई व्यवहार में आपने चेंज देखा? परिवार ने कोई देखा कि उनकी कोई मतलब बिहेवियरल कोई चेंजेस आपने नोटिस किए?
इसमें सर जैसे कि सोनम जो है, सोनम अपने यहाँ पे करीब अपने यहाँ पे 4 दिन रही है। इसमें 14 तारीख के दिन, 14 मई को ये लोग शादी में गए थे उज्जैन। उस टाइम पे राजा ने मुझे कहा था, बोले भैया ना सोनम जो है, सोनम में से अलग हट के उसके परिवार के साथ में बातचीत कर रही है। तो राजा को उस टाइम अच्छा नहीं लगा था। और परिवार से बातचीत कर रही है कि किससे बात कर रही है ये हमको नहीं कंफर्म पूरा है। बाकी राजा ने उस टाइम जरूर कहा था, बोले भैया ये में से हट के जो है बात करे आगे, तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा। बोले
कोई शक था जब ये फ़ोन कॉन्वर्जेशन से राजा ने जब बात की आपकी माँ से या फिर फैमिली मेम्बर्स से मेघालय से, कोई उनके कोई टोन में बात करने के तरीके से कुछ शक हुई आपको कि कुछ गलत चल रहा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम है?
सर फ़ोन पे जब बात हुई थी मम्मी की, जब ऐसा कुछ लगा नहीं था हमारे को, तो ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है, इतना बड़ा हादसा हो सकता है इस बारे में, क्योंकि हमको तो इतना ध्यान था इसमें। तो सोनम जो है, सोनम और राजा दोनों हनीमून के लिए गए कभी है, तो इन दोनों के पीछे इन दोनों की दुश्मनी कहीं है नहीं, तो ऐसा क्या होगा? तो इसलिए हम लोगों ने इस पर ज़्यादा शक नहीं करा हम लोगों ने किसी बात पे भी इस जगह पे, और हमको ऐसा लगा भी नहीं। तो दोनों की बातों में कुछ चेंजेस आया है। जो सोनम ने इतनी सफाई से बताया गया था, तो मम्मी हम लोग जो है ऊपर चढ़ रहे हैं और मैंने अभी कॉफ़ी पी है, जिसमें 1 गिलास दूध 2 गिलास पानी, इस प्रकार की कॉफ़ी, तो मैंने कॉफ़ी फेंक दी है। तो हमको तो ये लगा था सोनम जो राजा जो है, ये दोनों जने ने कॉफ़ी पी है और आगे किसी ने या तो इनको अगवा करा है या किसी ने इनको किडनैप करके ले गए होंगे या राजा को किसी ने मारा है। हमको शुरू से ये लग रहा था, बाकी ये नहीं पता था इस पर मास्टरमाइंड जो है सोनम ही है।
जी विपिन जी, आपने हमसे इस बहुत मतलब इस समय भी आपने समय निकालकर हमसे बात की, तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद विपिन जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
ठीक सर,
थैंक यू सर विपिन।
थैंक यू सर।
I am joined now by Mr. Tin Song, who is the Deputy Chief Minister of Meghalaya and also the Home Minister. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, Arnab.
I began by saying that I think that we should stop calling it a Meghalaya murder mystery, because it's given this whole social media campaign and the speculation has, unfortunately, there's been an attempt to tarnish the image of Meghalaya and Meghalaya tourism. So first of all, I think we all owe, all of us, all of us, owe an apology to the people of Meghalaya, the beautiful state of Meghalaya. Sir, how do you view this, what has finally come out? You must have been under intense pressure over the last week.
Absolutely, Arnab. Thank you so much for inviting me to join this platform through your channel. Arnab, in fact, these last few weeks, the whole Meghalaya was shaken, was shocked, and till today, after reaching to this stage of the conclusion, we were really shocked. And the modus operandi that has happened, the way the planner, the made for this killing, I think it reminds all of us to the Bollywood or Hollywood films.
Yeah.
And point number two, people of Meghalaya never experienced or never seen such unfortunate incident till today.
Yep.
Enough. Thirdly, people of Meghalaya still are at shock because these few days back, lot of narrative has been created in different platforms, be it in the social media, be it in the YouTube, or be it in the well-established news houses. And it really hurts us, it really pains us. But today, as we stand today, as we are on this moment, I'm happy to inform you that ultimately the truth has come out and the truth prevails for not only for Meghalaya alone, but also for this fashion of incident that has happened and keep happening throughout India. So therefore, of course, from the government side and from the people of the state of Meghalaya, we convey our condolences to the family members, the bereaved family of late Shri Raja. Right from day one till today, we convey our condolences and we hope God will ultimately solace their comfort for all of them.
Thank you, sir. Also, as Home Minister, you must have found all the details of the police investigation. This killer here, Sonam, she quickly made an exit. So have you found out how all these, her and her accomplices left Meghalaya, how quickly they left Meghalaya after the murder?
Yes, as per the investigation, as per the homework done by the Meghalaya State Police, we found out that on the 23rd itself, the moment the operation was completed, she went back from, she left Meghalaya, she left Sora and she left Shillong the same day itself. And on the 24th again, it seems she traveled by train to different destinations altogether. And it was so fortunate that after the detailed homework done by the Meghalaya police and with the help of the counterpart police from UP as well as from Madhya Pradesh, we were able to we were able to arrest all the 4 main accused in this killing. And today morning, we were ultimately confirmed the confession made by the accused 1, 2, 3, and 4 that Sonam was the main accused in the incident that has taken place on the 23rd of last month.
Right. Mr. Chinsong, I thank you very much. And I want to say this, that Meghalaya is one of the most beautiful places in the country. I've spent my years in school there. I was a student at St. Edmunds. The Northeast is one of the most tourist welcoming places for tourism in India. And these wrong assumptions one should not make. But I thank you for a quick investigation. You've done a great job, sir. And, we hope that Meghalaya tourism will not be affected at all.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you so much, Anaf. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you. I'm now lastly joined by Amitabh Yash, who's Additional Director General Law and Order in Uttar Pradesh. Now, they've done a great job tracking this down. Mr. Yash, what can you tell us about the mindset and mentality and planning that the prime accused Sonam did, which led to the murder? What have we been able to find so far?
Thank you, Arnabji. UP Police has not been associated with the investigation so far. Our role was limited to taking the guidance from MP Police, and we tracked down the lady who wanted to present herself to the police, it seems.
What you say? She wanted to present herself to the police? She wanted to surrender?
Yes. It seems that she was eager that the police finds her, and that is why she made a call to her kith and kin in Madhya Pradesh. The Madhya Pradesh police informed UP police about her whereabouts, and then necessary formalities were done.
She wanted to surrender. So, what was going on in her mind? Did she feel she can't run anymore?
It is not exactly that that she wanted to surrender. She wanted to present herself as a victim of the crime. So the way she was trying to act initially was that she was trying to tell the police that she is a victim of the crime herself, and she was brought here in intoxicated state, or that she was drugged. So a medical examination was done. No was found with her medically, and the Meghalaya police has done a great job investigating.
So she wanted to present herself as a victim of whom? Yes. What was the story she was making up?
The story she wanted to tell the police was that she has been drugged and brought here.
From Meghalaya to Ghazipur?
Yes.
By whom, did she say? By whom?
No, she didn't take any names, and we did not interrogate her because we are not the investigators of the case. But it is very apparent from this entire story that she tried to cook up that she is extremely ruthless, and two, that she is a very poor planner of crime. I mean, this is the way novices commit crime. She left a trail of evidences, which of course the Meghalaya police very intelligently picked up and managed to uncover the entire story. I hope justice will be done soon in this case.
Well, it's remarkable. I mean, Mr. Yash, that she thought so far to present herself as a victim, which also makes one think that, a woman who is a perpetrator can project herself as a victim, that she had the temerity to do that, which means she's an educated person. She's planned it out. She had planned her next steps.
Yes, it's true that she planned her next steps, but of course, our understanding of the police working was extremely poor, and she thought that she would be able to get away from this.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Yash. Thank you for throwing light on this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much
for joining us on Republic. I'm joined by Deepika. Thank you, sir. Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj is a well-known men's rights activist. Advocate Prashant Mendirata is also a very well-known matrimonial lawyer, fought many cases on men's rights and husbands' rights. Yogita Bhayana is a well-known social activist and fights for the rights of women. And Aniket Ujwal Nikam is a well-known criminal lawyer from Mumbai who says the law is not against men. I want to open this up first with a debate between Deepika and Yogita. Deepika, before I come to you, Yogita, will people now begin to acknowledge the level of misuse of the laws against men? See, it's not only that a man has to be murdered, but men are tortured, men are subject to cruelty, men are subject to false accusations, social stigma, legal harassment. Men, as a result of this, increasingly there have been cases of men who have been forced to commit suicide. There are innumerable hundreds and thousands of false cases put against men. dowry harassment. 498 is terrible, along with 85 and 86 of the BNS, totally abused by women and their families. Right? You can't put my point is, we can't put a wrap on this anymore. We can't put a cover on this anymore. This has become very frequent, and too many cases have come up in the media. Your thoughts on this and this case?
You're absolutely right, Arnav. Too many cases have come up. And this is a trend which is picking up. Unfortunate. If you read the cases, and you read it initially when you started your debate, you were reading about the cases, of late where women have been, the criminals. But, you could read few cases and then you had to put a stop to it. When other way around, if I give you the list of the cases where women are being harassed and tortured, they are endless. You can go on and on for nights and nights and nights. You will not be able to finish that list. So I'm not justifying the crime. I'm just simply saying any law which is made in the country is based on the assessment. Where is the percentage? Any law for that matter. So that's the reason we are on the weaker side. Wherever there is a victim, we always take the side of the victim, whether it's a man or a woman. It is gender neutral approach because we fight for human rights. It's not only that even if women is wrong, like we will be going against all odds and trying to protect her. It's simply what I'm trying to say is that the trend is that media is picking up those cases where women are involved. So that's a very dangerous trend. And honestly, if you read, 90% of the crimes are done by the other gender, which is men. And you can go through all the jails in the country. You will see what is the percentage of men are prisoners and not accused. They are, they have been charged. So they are spending their life there because they have committed the crime. They are proven to be victims.
People should not talk about
I'm just simply saying that
Yogita,
picking up
Yogita, I just don't want both to speak together. Yogita, Deepika, just wait a minute. Deepika, just wait a minute.
I can give you the list. I can give you can really go on for years and you can
So Yogita, I began with you, and your view is that there are many more cases against women than there are against men.
Absolutely.
One. Two, you are blaming the media for bringing an intense focus on crimes against men. You are accusing the media of being anti-women in the process of doing so.
Absolutely.
That's your assumption.
This is the trend.
I ask you this. I'm sorry to be a little hypothetical about it. But imagine, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. We have also got to think here about whether there is a preconceived notion, Yogita, in our society, that a man is a perpetrator and the consequences of that notion. For example, Yogita, let me please complete. And I want to go to Deepika after this. Suppose Sonam Raghuvanshi and Raja Raghuvanshi had gone to Meghalaya and Sonam Raghuvanshi's body would have been found. Then the whole country would have said that Raja Raghuvanshi is the likely killer. Today everybody is shocked when Sonam Raghuvanshi ends up as the killer. But for the last few days, nobody said publicly or even suggested that Sonam has carried out the killing, which means we have a preconceived notion that a man is always a perpetrator and never a victim. And a woman can never be a perpetrator. A woman can never be a perpetrator is where we start from. Let me get Deepika on this. Yogita, let me get Deepika on this so we balance the debate. Deepika.
While we are talking right now, Arnab, there's another husband murder reported from Hapur. This man has been murdered by his wife in conspiracy with her lover. He had got her husband beaten up. He had a fracture in his leg 3 months back. पहले उसकी टांग तोड़वाई, पुलिस ने कुछ नहीं किया. Now he is murdered. All right. And if Yogita is bothered about the number of cases, we have hundreds of case studies that we can share with her. But the whole point is that, minimalizing
cases every single day. 10 cases done with a lot of responsibility. Check my helpline number.
Yogita, you have to listen to Deepika's point of view, please, because 2 audio tracks is disturbing. I can't hear 2.
Women are becoming absolutely shameless in committing the crimes, and please stop infantilizing them. These are men who are being chopped into pieces.
Women are not.
These are men being chopped into pieces, Yogita. You talk about rape cases. I adore your work for rape victims. But there are thousands of men who are being falsely accused of rape, lodged in jail for months and months, and they're not getting heard. I am sorry, but please stop pitching men versus women. Women can also commit crimes that are as shrewd, as absolutely ruthless as men. If you're talking about equality, please stop giving the numbers.
That's exactly I'm saying. That's the reason I'm saying if you're talking about equality, take crime as a crime. Don't take it as a gender. You can't be saying that how dare she do it. Anyhow, a mastermind was this other man who actually planned to kill her and use this woman. Anyhow, she definitely plotted it, but with the help of the gunners, the shooters were all men. They were all men.
Can I hear the other side? That is, Deepika, please louder. If you don't mind adjusting the audio in the studio, PCR. I can't hear Deepika. Let's be fair.
What I'm saying is, I think feminists, women's rights activists need to wake up, open their eyes to women committing the most brutal murders, misusing the laws left, right and center, exploiting the provisions that have been made for genuine victims. And I'm really, really thankful that finally media has started talking about these cases. I see the frustration of women's rights activists when media is talking about murders of men.
May I just come in for a minute? I say one thing here. Yogita, please, can I come in for a minute? Yogita, please hear me. Please do not speak over me, because Deepika did not speak over you. There's a bad bandwidth on your link. Then if you speak, then the voice gets jumbled. I'm only asking you to be considerate to that. What I'm shocked by in this case, Aniket, and I want to bring in the two lawyers now, that's Aniket Ujwal Nigam and Prashant Mendiratha on two sides, two great lawyers. Now, what I'm concerned about here is that this is A, so-called arranged marriage. B, she's not been forced into it. C, she wanted the jewelry, she wanted the diamonds, she wanted the gold. She made him wear all this, Prashant, when he left for the honeymoon, right? You don't go around wearing 10, 20 lakh rupees of jewelry and diamonds when you go there. You put it in a locker. But you're taking it, which means she wanted to kill him and take his stuff. And my bigger concern is, in her initial remarks, Yogita is still portraying Sonam as a victim by saying that she's not really done it. There are 4 men and she's only being used. No. She's laid the trap. She's done it. She has used those contract killers to kill her husband. But the fact, Prashant, that even now there is an attempt to build a sympathy around this woman, Sonam, is horrifying. Prashant, how do you view this? And then I'll get a counter view from Aniket. Prashant.
It is such a wake-up call for everyone. We have to realize that women too are capable of planning a cold-blooded murder. Here is a case. They were last seen together on 23rd of May. His body was recovered on 2nd of June.
Yeah.
Till 8th of June, she was not to be found anywhere. And today, all of a sudden, on 8th of June, she has resurfaced and is now saying that she wanted to surrender, which is really sad state of affairs. And now she made a statement to the dhaba owner, where she was found, that my husband died while trying to save me, which is really unfortunate that you do not say a word about what happened in these last 6 days. There was obviously a way that she wanted to cover up. She could not. The law will catch up with her now. Now, the interesting part is with regard to the laws. Yes, the laws of 498A, 406 dowry and criminal breach of trust were misused. Then, basically, 377 unnatural sex was misused by wives. Now, interestingly, POXO is being misused by women. Rape laws are being misused by women. Nobody seems to be, thinking and trying to take a positive step. The courts have to now sensitize that men could be speaking truth too, that they have to hear the men as well. Now, I'll give you an example. Every time 2 vehicles meet with an accident, our Indian mentality is that the bigger vehicle wala ka uski galti hogi. Same is the case here. When we come to dowry cases, when we come to matrimonial cases, it must be the husband and his family who would be wrong. Here is a case where I'm sure this person, Raja Kushwaha, with whom she's supposed to be having an affair, was allegedly working in her organization. She was doing brother's organization, some plywood work. He was working for the brother of Sonam. And they had an affair. If the family knew about it, and still they got Raja Kushwaha married, Raja Raghuvanshi married, it is absolute fraud being played on men. The families should own up. Don't get those women married who don't want to. Please don't force them. So here is a case. The men need protection now. And maybe Uniform Civil Code would be an answer. Maybe a prenuptial agreement would be an answer. But something needs to be done now. How many more men are we going to lose before the Parliament gets up and takes notice? Or are we going to rely upon Supreme Court every time? I mean, it was Arnesh Kumar's judgment which saved so many families now from 498 to 406. Are we going to bank upon every time to Supreme Court? What is our Parliament doing? Somebody has to amend the law somewhere.
Which means,
otherwise we'll have many more suicides. We'll have many more deaths.
Which means, Prashant, I'm just thinking of this complex case because I was talking to the Additional Director General of Uttar Pradesh, Amitabh Yash, some time back. And then he said, Aniket, he said to me, we can keep with the screen on, no problem. He said that when she was caught in Ghazipur, she was pretending that she had been drugged and she had been brought and she didn't know anything. She was portraying herself as a victim, which means she is knowingly continuing to play the victim card. After having killed a man who is her husband, she wants to blame 4 other men for killing him. And all she wants to do, this is all acting. You look at her, she's trying to pretend. You see that video there, Aniket? She's pretending she is drugged. She's not aware of her surroundings. She's still play acting, which means she's read the media. She knows she can't get away. She doesn't know her next move. She thinks her best move is to play the victim all over again. And if she plays the victim, then others, I'm not saying anything, but that Yogita kind of argument that a woman is being used by 4 men. The man is jealous of another man who's married his girlfriend or his lover, and therefore that man has got together with 3 other men to kill another man, and the woman is a victim all the way. This argument being presented is so easy to play that conniving number in court. Aniket, this is very dangerous. I agree with Prashant, this should be a big wake-up call.
Arnab, 2 things. In our country, murder is a murder irrespective of the gender of the offender. The murder laws are gender neutral, so are the suicide laws. So whoever it is, whether it is a male, female or a transgender, if they have committed an offence of murder or if they have driven anybody to commit suicide, they would be charged for the offence of abetment of suicide or for the charge of murder. Now in this case, it seems Raja Suryavanshi has been done to death in a very deserted manner. And it seems the wife is involved in it. She had engaged 4 other people to do it. Now the investigation would reveal what was the larger conspiracy, who all are involved, and they would be booked accordingly. So the murder offence, I wouldn't take this as an argument that murder offences are gender biased in our country. On the contrary, murder offences or offences like suicide are completely gender neutral. They do not depend upon the gender of the offender. That's one thing. Secondly, as far as the laws, the Sexual Offences Acts are concerned, which are slightly, I would say, biased towards the female gender. The reason being that the history that our nation has seen, the Constitution itself provides under Article 15(3) that the state can make laws for the welfare of children and women. Now, the reason for having certain laws which favor women is because every day almost 85 rape cases get reported in our country. There are so many other rape cases that do not get reported because of the barriers of the society, because of the shame and stigma attached to it. And therefore, certain laws are the ones which favor the woman. But at the same time, under the new BNS Act, there has been a provision introduced for the first time that if somebody falsely implicates anyone, for example, one of the learned speakers said that laws are being misused and false cases are being filed. If somebody falsely implicates somebody, the maximum punishment in such a case would be of 10 years. Now, it is the job of the police to investigate an offence and to see whether it is a case of false implication or not. But saying that there have been instances of false implication and therefore completely the law needs to be redone or revisited, is something that I wouldn't really approve, because such kind of petitions were even filed in the Honorable Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said this is the job of the Parliament, and Parliament enacts the law depending upon
that's
the
all
social...
technical, Aniket. Aniket, that's all technical. When you see the Meerut cement murder, a woman... when you... 1 minute, Aniket. Technically you are right, but you are not. No, 1 minute. Aniket, see, what is happening in India today, and I'll open the lines. I want Deepika to come in on to respond to you, and Prashant also. What is happening in India today? You are seeing all these cases being reported. I can equally argue that maybe men have been tortured, killed, or driven to suicide for a very long time. It's only now that because of the media the story is coming up. Otherwise this would be reduced to a single column, 50-word article on page 11 of a newspaper. It's just getting prominence now.
Because of the frequency of these cases.
Okay, Deepika, we'll have two
I'm not saying that if a man is driven to suicide, the woman cannot be charged for the offence of abetment.
No. What I'm saying is,
if a woman is committing murder of a man, she can be charged for murder.
Are you saying?
Aniket, nobody said that abetment to suicide or murder are gender biased. No, these are gender neutral provisions. We all know that as students of law. Nobody is asking these provisions to be done away with. Nobody is asking for that. But what happened with 498A? Supreme Court had to come in and pass guidelines so that people are not indiscriminately arrested.
Okay, Yogita. One. We'll have to adjust the audio better on this. Can I not request you to speak over each other?
Question to Aniket. Aniket, how many women do you know who have been punished for filing a false 498A? Tell me please, in the last 30 years, how many women do you know of? I know of a lot of rapists who have been
I am not carrying any statistical book with me to tell you how many cases are being filed or how many have been convicted. However, there is a law that we have today which says, if you read section 248 of the new BNS Act, it itself provides that if somebody...
Can I have the audio better on one side? Cannot speak over each other.
There are provisions for protection of crimes of women also. Has the crime stopped? No, it hasn't. There are criminals who commit these crimes. But यहाँ पे जो women file करती है false cases,
aggrieved can always resort to these provisions. But to say that because there have been instances where a man has been ill-treated...
Prashant on the left. Prashant.
I went to Supreme Court recently. A retired captain of the Indian Army.
The misuse of the laws is so apparent, and the retort was that contempt or the perjury cases, or that yes, we can get them punished for false cases, which has not been happening. In fact, we've had cases here in Delhi where we found the women lying on oath. We have got the orders of perjury, but still the courts tell us, let it be. Why do you want to get her punished? Till the time women are not punished for filing false cases, this bloodbath will not stop.
Should definitely punish
our perjury cases and contempt cases, they have to be strengthened. The women have to be punished for lying.
Yogita doesn't get justice. That's exactly we have been trying to reiterate again and again, that we want people who are misusing, women who are misusing, men who are misusing, anybody for that matter.
We'll take a couple of callers because I've opened the lines now, ladies and gentlemen. We open the lines. Vichitra is calling from Gurugram. 2 quick callers tonight, please. Vichitra.
Hello.
Hi, Vichitra. What do you think?
Hi, Arnab. I'm a psychologist and a marriage counselor.
Yes.
And I'm glad that mainstream media has picked up this issue because it was really, really required.
Yes.
I'm not talking about these, huge cases where crimes happen. I'm talking about what men go through in their life on an everyday basis. And believe me, it is...
My maid...
Yogita, please let Vichitra speak. I need to hear Vichitra audio, please. Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
go on.
So I'm talking about what men go through every day in their matrimonial homes. Because it's no longer a picnic for a man. It's really bad what men are going through. I've been counseling for more than, say, 25 years.
Yes.
And I've seen this change in society.
Yes,
and I'm glad you picked up this issue.
Yeah, I'll just get a couple of other views from Vellore. I'm joined by R. Sitapati. Mr. Sitapati, what do you think of this case and the issues it raises?
Sir, good evening, Mr. Harnab.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, this particular case is, Sonam is a culprit. There is no doubt about it. Because, see, nowadays the trend, generally whatever the woman, people think that woman is what you call weaker sex, because of which they are being forced by the men. That's what the society thinks. But that is not the right thing. Like, it is a woman, in some cases, they are more dangerous than men. They do it up. They do plan.
I agree.
And the myth about it, and the older law and other things, also says only favoring the woman. But woman in practical life is not so. Because
I agree. Arun, I'll have to go to Arun from Hyderabad. Ms. Sitapati, let me get one more caller in from Hyderabad. Arun?
Hello, good evening, Arnab.
Good evening, Arun.
Always we need to take care of weaker sections in the society. In general, we make laws, but we should also take care that the misuse also should be rightly punished. Then only the law will get the value.
Yeah, that's what Aniket also said. The misuse is not adequately, punished. Deepika, I'll give you 5 seconds, please, because...
Yes, Arnab, let's remember that Atul Subhash's wife was given bail within 9 days. Let's remember that the Supreme Court of India, when we went asking for a men's commission to protect men also, they said, who are you asking the commission for? Men who will commit suicide in future? Let us also remember that no action at the policy level or lawmakers level was taken after
I think the laws need to move with the times, and if the media...
no inquiry ordered against the judge.
No, the law needs to move with the times, and these are not just individual cases being reported in the media. It's unfortunately become a recurring pattern in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank all our panelists there. And when I come back at 9 o'clock, we are beginning the countdown for a huge leap. As a group captain, Shubhangshu Shukla will take off for the International Space Station that was scheduled for tomorrow. It's now day after. The implications, the importance and the relevance of that for all of us when I'm back.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho Befikar. Co-powered by Best Internationally Recognized Hospitality Education Brand in India.
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi and National Law School Bengaluru.
मेरी नई हुंडई एक्स्टर तुमने भी तो कल नई कार ली है ना, उसमें भी तो होगा ना ये वॉइस इनेबल सनरूफ
है ना अंकल, सिंगर इनेबल सनरूफ
और बेनिफिट्स ये तो मिले होंगे ना।
ये मिला।
हाँ, हुंडई कार्स पर मिल रही है अमेजिंग डील्स। वैसे लोगे तो आप हुंडई ही, चाहे दिल की सुनो या डील्स की।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar and I'm here to tell you that also gives me the license to guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAHM.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management.
विमल में गुलिस्तां की ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की इस जुबान में खुद को ऐसा डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं ना? विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध, MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
स्क्वाड्रन लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है।
भारत के नागरिक होने के नाते आपको धन्यवाद देता हूं और मेरे क्रू मेंबर्स भी मेरे साथ आपको धन्यवाद देते हैं।
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho Befikar. Co-powered by best internationally recognized hospitality education brand in India.
Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer. To create the big dream, the world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
Mahi sir, how much do you love your fans?
Honestly, I love my new fans. पुराने वाले बेकार में शोर करते।
सर फैंस हैं, शोर तो करेंगे ही ना।
नए वाले नहीं करते। And they listen to what I say.
The new generation Orient BLDC fans, super silent performance with voice control.
Silly me, I thought.
Cricket fans.
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar and I'm here to tell you that also gives me the license to guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAHM.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I am Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, Astronaut Core, and now, consequently, be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom,
This is the first day of emergency training as a crew for us. We've been learning about all the systems and putting all the pieces together. Depressurizations in the
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. The biggest news story of the week, and probably one of the biggest news events of 2025, will happen this week, when, day after tomorrow, as per latest updates, that is on Wednesday, the Axiom Mission 4, AX4, will fly and take off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida to the International Space Station, the ISS. And the reason this is so significant and so important for every single Indian, all of us, a moment we should all be very proud of, a moment we should all watch, and a moment we should all remember, is because after 41 years, an Indian will be flying to space. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the hashtag is fitting, hashtag Shubhangshu Shukla, because the name of Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla will be on the lips of every single Indian as he flies out to the International Space Station. He will be the first Indian since Rakesh Sharma in 1984 to go to space, marking India's return to human spaceflight after 41 years. And this is no small event, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a footnote in the history of space travel. When the world's most populous nation sends only its second citizen to space, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very significant, because this is one huge step towards India sending manned missions to space. Yes, Axiom 4 and the takeoff for the International Space Station of Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla is a vital precursor to Gaganyaan, which is going to be India's entry into human space flight. That is the next on the radar. And Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla will carry out many experiments, learn a lot, and he's going to be a part of the Gaganyaan, ladies and gentlemen, space flight, which means this is one big step towards major quick steps which will happen in the future for Indians traveling to space. In our space journey, this is huge. It also shows India's growing role, and in the future, even bigger role in commercial and international space missions. And we will then be a very key operator in low Earth orbit activities. This makes us a major space power. This will boost India's ambitions, and it will build confidence in our country's ability to not only execute complex human spaceflight operations, but it will also set the pace for what we hope will be a crewed lunar mission that India will carry out by 2040, which means this is 2025. And imagine where we will be 15 years from now. And ladies and gentlemen, in our lifetimes, therefore, we will see Indian manned missions to the moon. What a huge step. How much we can achieve when we come together as one. So Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla has the blessings of the entire country. And we are all praying for his success and for safe landings for Shubhangshu Shukla. This is going to be, without doubt, therefore, bigger than anything that happens this week. This is the biggest news event of the week, and we're all watching. We're all watching very keenly.
From the back seat of a bicycle to reaching the frontier of unlocking human spaceflight. Just like ISRO, India has come a long way in its destiny to reach the stars in all avenues. We all remember that iconic moment that Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma captured for 75 crore Indians in 1984.
स्क्वाड्रन लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है और हम सब आपको बधाई देते हैं। यह एक ऐतिहासिक कदम है। मेरी आशा है कि इससे हमारा देश अंतरिक्ष के प्रति जागरूक होगा और साथ ही हमारे युवकों को साहसिक कार्य करने की प्रेरणा मिलेगी।
41 years later, Tiranga will once again fly into low Earth orbit, this time proudly pinned on the heart of Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla.
The first Indian astronaut, Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, traveled to space in 1984. I was born in 1985. Consequently, I grew up reading about him in textbooks and listening to his stories from space. I was deeply impressed by him.
Group Captain Shukla is one of India's 4 designated astronauts for its very ambitious human space flight program, Gaganyaan. He is said to be part of the Axiom 4 mission, a NASA-ISRO collaboration mission that will make him the first Indian to arrive on the International Space Station.
This will be very, very clear pulling inside, but outside will be difficult. Now,
Shubhanshu Shukla will be part of a crew of 4. However, he is not just any other astronaut. Group Captain Shukla will fly the Falcon 9 as the pilot for the mission. The AX-4's Falcon 9 rocket is set to launch from the NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Falcon 9 has had over 400 successful launches with a success rate of 97%, putting it at the forefront of human spaceflight innovation. On board the ISS, Shubhanshu Shukla will stay for over 14 days and conduct 7 experiments designed by Indian scientists in microgravity. Shubhanshu Shukla's mission will also give India some critical information for our very own Gaganyaan mission.
140 करोड़ एस्पिरेशंस को स्पेस में ले जाने वाली 4 शक्तियां हैं। 40 वर्ष के बाद कोई भारतीय अंतरिक्ष में जाने वाला है, लेकिन इस बार टाइम भी हमारा है, काउंटडाउन भी हमारा है और रॉकेट भी हमारा है।
India is making tremendous progress on the indigenous Gaganyaan program, with ISRO perfecting each aspect of the development stage. In December last year, India demonstrated to the world its space docking capability, becoming one of the 4 nations in the world to achieve this marvel. Now in 2025, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla is set to take off with the dreams and best wishes of 1.4 billion Indians.
You are becoming a true inspiration for the next generation. The entire school, I believe, is looking up to you. The entire generation is looking up to you. And bas yaar, finish off things, come back fast, and waiting for you. Milna hai. Bahut time ho gaya now. It's going to be a year since you're there. And just come back, and then we'll have a lot of stories to share.
The countdown has begun, and it's time for India's second ever astronaut to finally lift off.
My first guest this evening is Suchi Mishra, very proud sister of Shubhanshu Shukla. Suchi, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Just got the news that it's delayed by a day,
Yes, actually,
because of weather conditions.
Sorry.
Apparently, because of weather conditions, we got an update from ISRO that it's been delayed by a day.
Yes, of course. Recently, only just now, a few minutes back only, I got this information because of weather conditions. It has been postponed for one more day.
So what is this? What is the run-up to liftoff and docking like for the family?
Superbly excited. Of course, if we could of course join him, and we could also reach to the space along with him. But of course, we are highly excited and highly proud for him.
And tell me, how have you've been talking to him? The family's been talking to him. What is he saying? Because we are not in touch with him. We cannot connect with him now. He's in quarantine. And so tell me how this build-up has gone for him. Tell us everything, what's gone on last few months. We are all so excited. We also want to know everything about Shubhanshu. So share some stories with us.
What story? Actually, he is like that person. He is being this person only all the time. He always keep everything very calm and composed. That everything is under control. Everything, nothing is out of the world. And whatever is happening, I'm learning. It's a process. I'm learning, and new things is like whatever that comes to his way, he starts learning that, and he always portray that, yes, I will do it. So for us is also like we are also having that confidence that whatever he is learning through this whole process, it is a long 9-month process roughly. So all the hardship and is about to pay off, And he's highly excited and happy. Today only we had word with him, and he's highly excited and happy about that. The day has arrived now, and he's going to implement this mission now.
What did he say?
He was happy. He was happy that I was waiting for this day for a long period of time, and now the day has arrived. But just now I have got that information. I'm sure all of you must have got that information that it has been postponed for one more day.
So what's the preparation like? I mean, he's in quarantine. Do you get into a completely closed physical environment? What's the mental training you go through? Anything you can share with us?
Mental training, they are already mentally strong, of course, because he has gone through that rigorous NDA training, first of all, post 12th. And after that, he has been in Air Force for a long period of time. Then he was the test pilot. So this is not something he's doing for the first time. That mental training he's doing from the age of 16, actually. So he's just brushing up those skills, what he has developed already. That I can say only. And of course, he is brilliant and he knows how to manage the things around. And he will surely manage that as well. So whatever training is going on, he is grasping as much as possible, and he is just going to make us proud. All of it, all of the Indians, not only me as sister, but all of us are just. He's going to make us proud of us.
Oh yes, absolutely. We first saw Subhangshu when he was selected among 4 Indian Air Force test pilots for the Gaganyaan mission. Right. When did you first get to know about that? Because we first saw him and there were 4 of them who were standing as astronaut designates. Very proud moment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was there. Did you know of that in advance? Or did you know and not share? Or did the family also get to know when he was standing on the stage with the Prime Minister?
No, we got to know, but we got to know on a very short notice only. He was selected. But on a very short notice as such, because this is how he is. He never shares that the process and the challenges of the process, actually. He's always been like this. And he always shared the good news, like product of that process, or maybe that whatever he is doing in his life. So he always try to hide his challenges or struggles in the life, but he definitely shares that achievements of his life with the happiness. So that's what he did. He was just gone through all the selection process, I'm sure, which must be very hard and difficult for everyone whomsoever has participated in that. He gone through that. And once he has got selected over there, then only he informed us कि हम पापा मम्मा मेरा हो गया है. So this is something very thrilling for all of us. And still, whenever we saw that clip, whenever we watched that clip along with the family member, we always get the goosebumps that he is one of that 4 members, those who have been selected for us.
That's so wonderful. And the historical significance of this. We are now going to become the 4th nation after Gaganyaan, after US, Russia, China, to launch humans into space. What a big thing, Suchi.
Definitely. It's a huge achievement for our country as well, because we have reached to this scale now. And then to competing with that huge countries in that manner. Itself is a huge achievement for us as well. And I'm hoping that because of Subhangshu, as he has reached to another mile, I'm sure because of him, many other Subhangshu Shukla are going to grow up and make us proud in future as well.
Yeah. If you talk to him again, tell us how proud we are of him, all of us.
Definitely. All the blessings and well wishes are reaching to him through us and through the digital platform as well. And I'm sure that he's not getting chance and opportunity to read all those informations and messages because he's highly busy and occupied.
Yeah.
But blessings are something which will reach to him, of course.
Of course it will. Thank you, Suchi. This has been wonderful to talk to you. We'll remain in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Same here. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Wow. I remember I was in school, color TVs had just come. And that is when we saw Rakesh Sharma go into space. But I welcome my panel today, Dr. Surendra Pal. Good evening, sir. Former director of ISRO, sir. Thank you, sir. He's responsible for development of telecom systems for Indian satellites, including Aryabhatta, INSAT, GSAT, Chandrayaan. These are all gems of our country. Dr. S. Venkateshwar Sharma, former director of ISRO. Sir, proud to have you also, sir. Such great and distinguished scientists. We have distinguished scientist at ISRO and former associate director of SDSC and SHAR projects from Hyderabad, Dr. Seshagiri Rao Velankini. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. B.R. Guru Prasad, former senior ISRO scientist, director of the Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium, live from Bengaluru. And we also know, always we know, Nambi Narayanji is former director of the Cryogenics Division of ISRO. Nambi sir, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm pulling along, sir. I'm so happy to see you. Happy to see all of you. And very excited about what is going to happen this week. Very excited, like a child. The same excitement like when I saw Rakesh Sharma. I saw that on TV as a schoolboy telling Indira Gandhi, Sare Jahan se acha. We were so hooked, so excited. So I would start with Dr. Surendra Pal, sir, if I can start with you. Can you explain to everyone watching tonight, Dr. Pal, the significance of this flight ahead of Gaganyaan, the significance of Group Captain Subhangshu Shukla being part of the Axiom mission force?
See, the significance, there are two aspects of this. One is technological. So there will be a person who, in first person, who will be looking into other things and his experiences and his what all he has learned will be useful for Gaganyaan. Okay, and he is one of the astronauts, and most probably he will also be flying. Second thing which I feel most important is that it's encouraging and it's kindling the minds of the youngsters. Today I was there with some school children and they were all excited. They all want to go to space. So that's the biggest impact of this one it will have it. So I feel that it's a multi-level, both technologically. It increases the prestige of the country. It also gives us self-pride and it encourages our youngsters. School children, if they are excited to come join an ISRO and they want to be astronauts, what more achievement we will have it. Thank you.
Sir, I want to go across to Dr. S. Venkateshwar Sharma, please. Dr. Sharma, what is the significance of this flight, Axiom 4 flight that Group Captain Subhangshu Shukla will take in the context of Gaganyaan? Was it necessary to go through this experience? Does it add to Gaganyaan? If so, sir, how?
Of course, yes. This is the most crucial time and the crucial period where we are standing at the doorstep of launching the Gaganyaan with our own astronauts. This is a time when we have to do some learning. There are 4 learnings which are important, which are going to be done in this mission. One is that taking an astronaut to the space, which we have not done, now we are doing it. And our own astronaut who has been selected for Gaganyaan is going. That experience is extremely, extremely important, number 1. Number 2, once the astronaut reaches there, how he is going to live there and how he is going to take care of himself in terms of mental, physical, psychological requirements, and experiments related to them are being done by our astronaut. That's also extremely important. For example, the mass loss in the body, and how do we control the mass loss by supplementing various food or nutrition, etc. That study he's going to make, that is going to really give us very important information. One. Second thing is also that effect of radiation on various germination of the plants and making of some of these salads, etc. And how do we do that, and how is it going to sustain in space is the second experiment what is going to be planned. So such experiments are planned. Those experiments are extremely, extremely important to sustain. Then comes how do we live longer there in terms of an astronaut going to stay there for longer based on the experience already had with Sunita Williams. If astronaut has to stay there for longer time, and what type of effect it is going to happen, and what type of experiment has to be done. The learning that has to happen is going to happen in this. There's also another important experiment that is going to be there. After that, the safely the astronaut has to come back, and then the further experiments have to happen. So this is a time when Gaganyaan is planned, when we have to have all these experiences with us, and we have to have the learning. And ISRO in particular, this country in large, doesn't do anything just like that. This is the time where if you had seen last 4 to 5 years, there were docking experiments. There were several other space experiments related to Gaganyaan. There had been declaration about the Bharat space station where there is going to be docking, and most importantly, the astronaut selected from ISRO, the Subhanshu, is going to be the pilot and also going to do the experiment for docking, which is extremely important, keeping in mind the BSS. Therefore, the learning what is going to happen, the 4 or 5 aspects which I listed are going to be really important, and they are going to give us enormous amount of inputs for the immediate Gaganyaan, which is going scheduled during 2025 and 2026, and the BSS, which is scheduled for 2035 and 2040 or up.
No, thank you so much for that. Now, Nambi Narayan sir, we have very stiff targets ahead of us. I mean, it sounds very exciting to say that we plan to have our own Antariksh station by 2035. We plan to have a manned mission to the moon by 2040. We plan to send up Gaganyaan in the next few years. Nambi Narayan sir, these huge targets like our own orbital space station, are we working parallel on all of these, and have we built enough redundancies? I mean, is it really possible? Simply put, can we achieve all this in 15 years, sir? Can we do all of this above in 15 years, 10 to 15 years?
Of course, yes. I have no doubt about it in my mind. For example, if you take even today's venture, is actually a parallel activity. The parallel activity means that what we would do when we are going to be ready in 2027. For example, when we were talking about Rakesh Sharma's launch, we were about 41 years back. At that time, we just had SLV-3 alone was launched. We didn't have any other rocket. 79, we launched this SLV-3, and that is only a 40-kilogram upper payload. Yeah. But whereas today we are talking about a system which we are going to be Gaganyaan, which will be ready from now onwards, 2 years from now, 2.5 years from, maximum 3 years from now. But the other milestones, 2040, 2035 and all, I am not very much worried, because most important thing is the next step is the Gaganyaan. Once we achieve that goal, then the remaining things will automatically follow. Actually, you must understand that we have one of the biggest boosters, and we also have the liquid rockets which are coming on the way. So I have a feeling why it cannot happen. Only thing is we have to work together like what we used to work in ISRO. If this continues, yes, we will achieve this in 2027 without any doubt. If not 27, 28, we will achieve this. I'm sure about it.
27, 28 is the timeline you're saying for Gaganyaan, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And Dr. Seshagiri Rao Velanki ji, sir, do you need a lot of experience in actual space missions to be part of a Gaganyaan-like project? I mean, now we will have that experience here with Subhanshu Shukla. Is similar experience required for all those who will be part of a manned space mission? Will a lot of other Indians also have to go through similar experience in the coming years before Gaganyaan or in the run-up to Antariksh? How will it work, sir? How have other countries been through this process?
Yeah, good evening to all of you. It is a wonderful mission which kindles the entire youth of India and the citizens of India watching with enthusiasm. And if you look at Subhanshu Shukla, he has been designated as a pilot of this mission. There are 2 mission experts and 1 commander, and Subhanshu Shukla is the pilot. If you look at how the ISRO is progressing towards taking human to space, is actually parallel activity. We have in fact had a satellite recovery experiment where we have orbited a satellite for a week, and then we have recovered it in Bay of Bengal in safe condition, and we know let us say in the Earth atmosphere how it enters and how it can be recovered when it lands in space. That was the first thing done. And later on the human rating of the GSLV Mark III took place. Let it be solid motor, let it be liquid motors, and followed by the abort tests in case, let us say, the humans are supposed to fly on Mark III in case the media bot takes place, how to jettison them and recover it. Those experiments were completed. All these things are parallel activities. In addition to that, the capsule recovery through parachutes have also been done through aircraft. And all the 4 astronauts which were selected for this Gaganyaan missions, you all know that all 4 of them, they are the Group Captain Prashant Nair and Ajit Krishnan,
yes,
and Mr. Pratap and Shubhan Shukla. All 4 of them got trained equally in all aspects of flying to space. And the moment, let us say, the Shubhan Shukla has been selected to fly in Axiom 4, we will get a rich experience how to pilot the ISS when you are there, and how to conduct experiments, and what are the experiences you gain through that is a huge benefit, so that you can share with other astronauts and as well as the remaining people. And he will also achieve mechanical and technical mastery and advanced medical training and habitat training, how to live there, and also the cultural and language when he is working with, let us say, the other astronauts of Poland, Hungary and the United States. And many other experiments have been listed that have to be conducted in those 2 weeks' time. So it is a huge benefit to the entire space activities of the government of India and ISRO, in particular the entire youth of the nation. It's a fantastic one.
So, Dr. Guru Prasad, there are 4 Indian Air Force test pilots, Group Captains Prashant Balakrishnan Nair, Group Captain Ajit Krishnan, Group Captain Angad Pratap, and Group Captain Subhangshu Shukla, who were selected for Gaganyaan, which is India's first human flight space program. Dr. Guru Prasad, what about the other 3 who have been selected? What kind of training are they going through? And how will they benefit from this experience that Group Captain Subhangshu Shukla will bring back with him at the end of this mission?
Yeah. Good evening to you. Namaskar, Arnab.
Namaskar.
Yes, all the 4 astronauts who are career Air Force pilots and who are test pilots, they were selected in during 2019-20 period, and all of them have undergone training equally well. Okay, then when Shubhanshu Shukla, who is the youngest of all, I understand, in fact, he is 39-year-old, and he was selected, and his backup is Prashant Balakrishnan Nair, who is also in the US with him. Okay, so all these 4 were trained very well, both to tolerate both physiological and psychological stresses that were are associated with space flight. You know, the thing is the way in which they were trained. Some of the things which are very curious for a layman is pertaining to space flight is when a rocket is ascending towards space. You know, the astronauts or cosmonauts, in general, let us say space travelers, they feel, depending on the path taken by the rocket and its acceleration and such things, they feel that their weight is increased by 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, something like that. Okay? So these things have to be tolerated. Fortunately, test pilots, they are very well aware of these aspects, and they know how to tolerate these things. But anyway, they will be specifically trained for space flight in this regard. Similarly, once they go to space, the opposite happens.
On the right.
So for a common man, again, I would say, since the spacecraft in which they will be orbiting the Earth, it will be continuously falling towards the Earth, but it will never reach the surface of the Earth. That is the reason why they experience weightlessness. So as to how to tolerate weightlessness, so in this aspect also, by taking them in a particular space, in an aircraft, and making it to fly in a particular path, trajectory, as engineers say, so they will train them. You might have seen some visuals you yourself showed. So these are the things, and they will be, actually any astronaut trainee will be tested for isolation and such things. So these are some of the important things in which all were trained, and they were trained at Yuri Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center outside Moscow in Star City. All of them were trained. Now, after they came back, and when this Axiom mission came up, Axiom 4, so at that time, I understand that Shubhanshu Shukla and Prashant Balkrishnan Nair were selected.
If there are calls, let me know.
Shubhanshu Shukla was ultimately selected. So all of them have undergone training equally well, and they will be continuing. The other three will be continuing with their Gaganyaan training, and once Shubhanshu Shukla comes back, he will also join them, and together all of them, all the four of them will endeavor to fructify Gaganyaan, I would say, as during 26, 27, as Shri Nambinarayanan was telling. Arnab, only one thing I would like to tell you on an optimistic note.
Yeah.
When Rakesh Sharma, I still vividly remember the day when he was launched on April 3rd, 1984 in Soyuz T-11 spacecraft. And I watched that launch with a lot of enthusiasm. I was a fresher at ISRO at that time, and I watched it on a black and white TV. As Shri Nambinarayanan said, the thing is, at that time we had only one launch vehicle at that time, SLV-3, of which Kalam led the team. But today we have built six generations of launch vehicles. So two of them have launched, PSLV has launched more than 400 foreign satellites, and LVM-3 or Mark 3, it has launched 72 foreign satellites.
Yeah.
And we have at least around 50 satellites working for the country. So we have come a long way.
We are taking hot calls.
Rakesh Sharma was launched, and that was when he was launched and he came back, he established a legacy which is being continued by Shubhanshu Shukla. And I'm sure that, as his sister said, many more Shubhanshu Shuklas will be coming into the fore, and through the inspiration provided by Shubhanshu Shukla's flight. As Indians, all of us have to wish well and good luck for Shubhanshu Shukla. Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, with your permission, I will open up to calls, because there is tremendous interest, Dr. Surendrapal, from people across India to get a perspective. They have so many questions. They are saying, why is only Arnab asking the questions? So I will open up to callers from all over India, and they'll take a few calls, and you can add your expert opinion to what they are saying. But before I do that, I want to play that clip, because most of the people in India today have been born after Rakesh Sharma went to space, after 1984. So majority of Indians may not have watched this event live. Many may have watched this video, but we must relive the moment and then open up to calls. So if I have that clip, please, and if it can be played, that clip, let's play it up.
स्क्वाड्रन लीडर राकेश शर्मा, सारे राष्ट्र का ध्यान आपके तरफ है और हम सब आपको बधाई देते हैं। यह एक ऐतिहासिक कदम है। मेरी आशा है कि इससे हमारा देश अंतरिक्ष के प्रति जागरूक होगा और साथ ही हमारे युवकों को साहसिक कार्य करने की प्रेरणा मिलेगी। प्रश्न तो आपसे बहुत से पूछने हैं, लेकिन थोड़े से पूछती हूँ। ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको?
जी, मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा।
And that's that famous clip. Brings a smiles to everyone's face right now. Dr. Surendrapal, what do you think the mood at ISRO will be? What would the scientific community at ISRO be looking for?
The mood is very elated, and I must also say that I also watched when Mrs. Gandhi was talking to, at that time, the Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma. We also interacted with the Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma when he came. But the experience which Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla will have will be much better and much elaborate than what he had it. Okay, so that was almost taking a big. But the training which he underwent, I have seen that Yuri Gagarin Space Training Center, outside the Star City, outside Moscow Star City. When we went for one of the satellite launch, then we also saw the launching in the place where things were being launched. Okay, now there we saw when Yuri Gagarin was launched, they were kept as it is Yuri Gagarin and Marcel Tito's that two beds also. So if you see all those facilities, the training is very rigorous, and they've also gone through the training. What I saw maybe decades back, now the improvements are much more than, and they have undergone the training not only in Russia but also in France and of course in USA. And in my opinion, whether it's a group captain Shukla or